What is going on, guys? This is your model of the IWC Gamers Goon here today with your AEW Dynamite June 30th review. Now, before we get into this, I want to mention how it closed AEW off because that is a part of this show. Um, we this was our last Dynamite hailing specifically from the home of AEW, Jacksonville, Florida, at the Daily's Place. They went off the air saying, and we do have to thank all of our fans for the last 15 months. The promo package they used, man, I legitimately shed a tear. Um, I can't believe it's been 15 months since we've had a relaxed wrestling show, meaning no mask mandates, no up in the air COVID, oh, you need a vaccine to come to the shows or anything like that. It's been 15 months since we saw Cody step in that ring. The first Dynamite after the mandate, step in that ring, blacked out crowd, in the ring by himself, calling up the Elite and saying, now more than ever we have to work together and we have to be delivering a good show because during the pandemic it's going to be us. It's going to be us to bring light into these people's lives, and I can't thank the AEW roster up and down enough. I did send out a tweet and tagged as many people as I could. Some of the highlights of it. Tony Khan, big thank you goes out to him for being able to do a lot of what he's been able to do. Over the past 15 months, it's been a crazy ride. We've seen Matt Hardy come. We've seen Andrade come. We've seen Miro come. We've seen guys be brought up into the AEW roster like Ricky Starks, like an Anthony Ogogo, like there's just a lot of names, like a Brian Pillman who was even on the show tonight. There's just been a lot of that's gone on in the past 15 months. We've had Hikaru Shida become a longtime champion and put over Britt Baker. We've had Chris Jericho come on to put great matches on with Orange Cassidy during a time and place where a lot of people were down in the dumps. Orange Cassidy was able to bring some light to people's lives. We saw a great title run there from Brody Lee. And then obviously we had December passing of Brody Lee, which they did definitely show off Brody Lee and brought back memories of Brody Lee. And Brody, I know you're probably not listening, but we do miss you. We definitely miss you. It's just surreal to look back at all that's happened in the past 15 months and look at all that has changed. FTRs on the roster. There's just so many things that have happened over the past 15 months in this pandemic era of wrestling, and finally it's coming to an end. And I don't have enough time before we need to get into the actual show to thank a big list of names. I might do that at the end. Shout out some of the people that I think did the best jobs during the pandemic. I'm not going to commit to that, but definitely thank you to most of the AEW roster and everybody that was actually putting in the work and wasn't just showing up and going through the motions. If they were going through the motions, then it's whatever. But the people that came into work, busted their tail, was out there each and every week. The people that were out there trying to become something and trying to just bring some sort of life into what was a lifeless time. I do appreciate every single one of you that were trying to make the best of your situations. But we started off this AEW Dynamite, the last one, in Jacksonville with none other than the king of AEW himself, Chris Jericho, joining the commentary booth. And he was on the commentary all night long. Jericho on commentary is always phenomenal. We jumped into the show right away with Pentagon and Eddie Kingston going up against the Young Bucks. This match was good. It was probably one of the better tag team matches we've seen all year long, in my opinion. They legitimately, I had this written down on my notes because I was just like, surely the Young Bucks are going over. They didn't just make it look cheap for Pentagon and Eddie. They looked legit throughout this entire match, and the Young Bucks did end up losing this match, but it was more so because of what happened on the outside of the ring. Gallows and Anderson came out. Then Frankie Kazarian came out and took out Brandon Cutler. And then we just see Eddie Kingston and Penta. They're able to pick up the victory after the Bucks got a little bit distracted there. And they will be the number one contenders now. So Pentagon and Eddie Kingston, I think, they're not going to win the championships. But I think they could put on a very good match when that match does happen again. Hopefully this time without the outside interference. I absolutely hate when that happens. But overall, very good match. One of the better tag team matches of the entire year, in my opinion. Then we have a backstage segment, and it's Christian Cage back there with Jungle Boy. And he's telling Jungle Boy, hey, listen, you might have lost last week, but you can learn from your mistakes last week. And Jungle Boy Jack, you can make it tonight. You can make tonight your 50th win. You'll be the first person in AEW history to reach 50 wins. And then we see Jurassic Express come. That means Luchasaurus. That means Marco Stunt. Welcome back to TV, boys. Welcome back to TV. And Luchasaurus says, you know what, Christian, thank you for having Jungle Boy's back lately. I'll have your back. Don't worry about it. Then we see Christian Cage and Luchasaurus walk on off. Marco Stunt follows, and then Jungle Boy ends up getting on up from sitting on one of those crates and goes and follows them. Jungle Boy, 100% is going to be facing Christian Cage at one of these upcoming shows. I don't know what show specifically it will end up being, but Jungle Boy, I guarantee you, will be facing Christian Cage in the near future. Christian Cage will turn on Jungle Boy, and Jungle Boy is going to get a big victory over Christian Cage. Mark my words when I say that. Definitely interested in it. Anything that gets Jungle Boy over and on TV is absolutely something we're always going to be interested in because of the talent that Jungle Boy has. That's the same thing with the Sammy Guevaras. That's the same things with the MJFs. They're just that talented in the ring that I don't care how they're on TV. As long as they're on TV, I consider it a success. Then we have an Ethan Page interview. He's being interviewed about the coffin match against Darby Allin. He said his goal isn't just to beat Darby Allin, but his goal is to exterminate Darby Allin because he's thrown him around. He's thrown him down staircases. He threw him all over the indies, and he just couldn't get Darby to step away. He's busted his head, but Darby just keeps on coming back. And he said, listen, you can't physically push Darby Allin away. You can't get to him physically, but you're going to get to him mentally. And in the coffin match, I'm going to beat and place that coffin over him. And mentally, every time Darby Allin thinks of a coffin drop, every time Darby Allin goes for a coffin drop, every time Darby lands a coffin drop, he's going to be thinking the name of Ethan Page and how bad Ethan Page embarrassed him. And he's gonna be the last thought going through Darby's head. Then we have Sting's music hit, and Sting comes out with Darby Allin, and Sting hits a Scorpion Death Drops, and then onto Scorpio Sky. Darby Allin grabbing the eyes of Ethan Page. Ethan Page then grabs a mic after that's all over and says, "You know what? No, we lost your chance. You lost your chance. You're not getting me in a coffin match. Absolutely not. Not right. Not next week. Maybe you'll get your match at Fyter Fest. Maybe." But that's if you sign a contract that says you will not touch me for 1 week prior to the match. And if you're a good boy, maybe you get the match at Fyter Fest. Maybe. So, they're definitely setting up for that. I'm okay with them pushing that back. I don't think it really was that prominent to be on next week's show. Continue to let it build. Continue to let it build. Ethan Page is making himself look phenomenal. Darby Allin, we already know how great Darby Allin is. Just keep letting it build. That's simple. Just keep letting it build. Next, we had something that wasn't necessarily as entertaining, more so as just putting over a talent. And that is Jack Evans going up against Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, Jungle Jack, Jungle Boy Jack, whatever you want to call him. But before we get into that, they announce the triple stack ticket pack that's going on sale next Friday now. You're telling me that there's going to be a Dynamite, a Rampage, and All Out all on the same week, and I have to buy a ticket for all three. Listen, I'm not gonna be able to get to Dynamite. I might be able to get to Rampage. If I get to Dynamite, I'm gonna be driving there the day of, driving back home, and then driving back on Friday, and then maybe staying in a hotel for the weekend. Or the other scenario is to drive back again and then go back on Sunday. Or just sell the 2 tickets and just go to All Out, because I'm going to All Out. That is not a question. I will be at All Out. So when All Out ticket sales go on sale, my head starts spinning. I'm starting thinking, well, I need to get things set up. I need to make sure I got the money in my account. I need to make sure this, and this is set. Unfortunately, the tickets are going to be going on sale while I'm in a car. But I'm going to All Out. I'm going to All Out. Whether or not I get it paid cheaper, or if I have to buy it off the ticket scalper, I'm going to All Out. And I do have something potentially big planned for All Out. I don't want to mention anything yet because it's not confirmed. I'm still waiting to hear back. But there might be something huge for the channel coming at All Out. Might be. I just want to throw that out there for you guys. Just so that you're aware that there's stuff in the works here on the channel. We're taking this serious. Let's start talking about Jungle Boy Jack going up against Jack Evans. Let's take that match serious, because this match really wasn't that serious. It really just put Jungle Boy over, and then we ended up having a Matt Hardy and Christian Cage altercation at the end after the match was over, and we're going to be getting that more than likely in the next coming weeks. I mean, really, just adding the win to Jungle Boy's resume, making him be the first guy to reach 50. In AEW, that's a huge accomplishment. A huge, huge accomplishment for Jungle Boy. So, definitely, this really didn't pan into anything major, but definitely a decent spot here for Jungle Boy. Then we have MJF. He said he out-wrestled and he outclassed Y2J, and Y2J needs to learn when to call it quits, because Chris Jericho is now a joke. He said he's going to give Jericho a match but only if the terms are, if MJF wins, then Chris Jericho's got to leave him alone. He's got to let him be. Just don't interact with him. Let him be. But for tonight, in the main event, MJF says, Sammy, you are the future, because I'm the now. I was like, there's no way he's going to put over Sammy right there. But he says, you know what, you are in the future, Sammy, but this is my time. My time is now. This is the aggression. He didn't say anything about the aggression era. But my time is now. Ruthless aggression. You can figure out the correlation there if you guys are so interested. But Sammy and Jericho and MJF, just those three men in general, I think have absolutely great chemistry. I absolutely love all three of those men in any segment, really. But definitely going to be interesting to see if maybe MJF and Jericho do have a rubber match there to potentially end things once and for all between the Pinnacle and between the Inner Circle and between Chris Jericho and between Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Then we get Kenny Omega coming on out, and he asks his own questions. He says, Kenny Omega, how do you get out of bed? How do you wake up and have goals when you are already the best? He said he wakes up feeling like he's the king because he beat the toughest. He beat the toughest wrestler. He beat the best high flyer. He beat the most charismatic wrestler. He beat the best athlete. He beat the most promising wrestler. And you know what? He's still champion. And unfortunately, there's nobody left for Kenny Omega to face, and he is going to need to take time off, and he will be wrestling on other promotions, so there's no need for you to worry. Then we hear the Dark Order's music hit. Evil Uno comes on out and says, it's funny that you say you have no challengers. You said you got no challengers, right? Kenny Omega's like, yeah, that's right. I don't have any challengers. Uno says, I think differently. Kenny's like, who do you have? You gonna send 5 at me? I'm gonna beat him in less than 2 minutes. Kenny says, and then Kenny tells him, you guys should just turn around and start walking back to the tunnel because you're wasting my time. Then Uno's like, no. You're right. But we do know somebody who does have a claim to beat you. You know somebody, Kenny, and somebody we've befriended, who is the number one contender in all of AEW. Who could they speaking of? Then Kenny's like, if I know who you're thinking about, if I think I know what you're talking about, if the guy you want me to wrestle is the guy that I'm thinking of, he doesn't have any confidence in him. He doesn't have this. He doesn't have that. He's just putting down this guy, and they're referring to the Hangman, Adam Page. Omega then follows it up, and Dark Order, you know what? I don't see him out here fighting his own battles. For right now, I'm going to bid you adieu. So, give me a second. Goodbye. And good night. Bang. Then we get Brian Pillman Jr. He says, forgive me, Miro, but I have good friends like Griff Garrison. He's a brother to me. And last week, you laying your hands on him made things personal between us. So tonight, Pillman says he's going to prove that Miro is not God's favorite champion. He's just a Bulgarian bully. Simple and to the point. Miro then goes up against Pillman, and believe it or not, man, this match was good. I thought Miro was just going to come in here and just wipe the floor with Pillman. Pillman put up a good showing. Pillman belongs. He definitely belongs. Miro did beat him, but Pillman put up a good fight. Definitely, I thought it was just going to be a quick 1 minute match, but Pillman put up a good fight, man. Pillman, definitely somebody you can look at and say, AEW might have something in them. I don't know what that something could be necessarily, but they might have something in them. So shout out to Brian Pillman Jr. Then we get Dark Order in the back with Adam Hangman Page. Page comes in all upset at him. Dark Order says, "No, don't be mad at us. You want this." Cabana says, "The reason why you don't think you want this is because you failed last time. It's okay to fail. You told us that that's okay. You lifted Evil Uno up for his efforts of trying. It is okay to fail. You have to believe in yourself. It is your time, Hangman. Just believe in yourself." So Dark Order, Hangman, going forward, hopefully at All Out, we see. I don't know if it's going to be All Out. They put this a little bit too early, in my opinion. But if they could keep the match off to All Out, perfect. If Kenny really does go defend another promotion, that's great. That's what needs to happen. Because I can picture it now. Tables have turned. It's not Evil Uno in there. Rather, it's Hangman Adam Page. He hits the buckshot lariat, or he puts the Deadeye. 1, 2, 3. Pins Kenny Omega in front of me in Chicago. Crowd going crazy. The Dark Order comes down to the ring. Evil Uno lifting up Adam Page. Adam Page is the new face of the Dark Order. The new top guy in all the business. The ending of that seems brilliant to me. Because of the love that the fans and the love that the locker room has shown towards Adam Hangman Page tells me that if that moment were to happen in Chicago, one of the best crowds that you can get in pro wrestling, if that moment were to happen in Chicago, at All Out, with that crowd, with the locker room that he has surrounded himself with, you cannot tell me that Adam Hangman Page will not have one of the most memorable moments in all of 2021. Maybe even more, depending on how they go about the build towards this match. I think it's brilliant. I think it's absolutely brilliant. Then we get Taz. Taz really just comes out here and he announces that next week we will be getting a match to settle things once and for all, because we've seen Brian Cage kind of step out of line, just not doing things the right way, according to Team Taz. And Ricky Starks, a cleared Ricky Starks, is going to be on the show next week. Sounds interesting to me. To settle things once and for all, hopefully Ricky Starks gets a win, man. I hate to say that, especially against Brian Cage, but I feel like there's something special on Ricky Starks, man. Then we get, oh boy, we get Nyla Rose and Vicky Guerrero going up against Britt Baker and Reba. I'm not going to speak about this match. It was a train wreck. That's all I'm going to say. It was a train wreck. It did not need to happen. There were rumors going on late today that Zelina Vega, a.k.a. Thea Trinidad, was in the building, and she could be showing up for that match and to replace Vicky Guerrero. Unfortunately, that did not happen, and unfortunately, we were subject to witness a train wreck. That's all I'm going to say about it. Then we had Jake Hager and Proud and Powerful, Santana and Ortiz saying that the Pinnacle messed up. Very simple promo to say. Next week, you're going to get what's coming to you. You guys messed up at, whatever. What's the name of the show? I want to say Roadblock, but that's wrong. That is wrong by a mile. Whatever the name of the show is. I don't know why it's not coming to me, but whatever. And then it's also announced that MJF and Jericho will have a Road Rager. They will have a face-to-face next week at Road Rager. Then we get MJF versus Sammy. Very good match. Very, very good match. Sammy looked at one point that he was going to win. He had a 450 senton. But then we see the Pinnacle come on out. Shawn Spears walks out. Jericho gets up to go attack him. Wardlow comes from behind, takes out Jericho. While they're watching Jericho get taken out by Wardlow, we see Shawn Spears use a chair, hit Sammy Guevara, and then ref turns around, MJF wins. And then we got into the Pandemic package, which was, unfortunately for me, I'm going to say was the highlight of my night. Pandemic package really hit me because it's surreal that all of what's happened in the past 15 months, and that it's even been 15 months, because I remember Cody's promo like it was yesterday. And just the uncertainty of everything, and now we're finally where we can see the light on the other side of the tunnel. It's crazy. But for the match in general, very good match between MJF and Sammy. Sammy Guevara is the future of AEW. Let me say Sami Zayn, actually, because if you're JR, it was WWE Dynamite going off the air for Jacksonville for the last time from the home of Dynamite over the past 15 months. But anyways, that's really all I got for you tonight. It really hit me watching that promo package, man. I miss Brody Lee. And then you look at all the stuff that's happened in the pandemic era of wrestling, and you can even go back to the WWE. You can go back to the to Undertaker's match with AJ Styles if you want. You can go back to Firefly Funhouse match if you want. You can go back to the Stadium Stampedes, which was showcased. You can go back to Mimosa Mayhem. You can go back to a lot of different things over the pandemic era of wrestling. And I think at the end of it, you still are just realizing how great AEW has been with the odds stacked against them over the past 15 months. It's just surreal to think about. I remember literally almost every single thing that happened that they showcased. And it's been a wild ride. But I'm going to get on out of here. Enough with me just reflecting over AEW. You guys know where to follow me on Twitter, GamersGoonYT, the Instagram, at thegoongameryt. Thursday, tomorrow, I'm not sure if I'm going to get a news video out because I don't think I have enough news to make a video. I think I'm going to save it for this weekend. I do know last week I did have a lot of news going out, so I did get it out on Thursday rather than the weekend. I think the news video is going to come out this weekend because I don't think I have that much news. I do know a couple pieces of news that I have set up, but not anything that requires me to get a video out tomorrow. And then Friday, I do have to work, but I should be off by the time SmackDown goes on the air. So that will be there. And then next Friday, I'm going to be going off on vacation, so I can't guarantee anything. There will not be a SmackDown review. I can guarantee that much. You might get a news video. You might get a Raw review. You might get an NXT review. You might get an AEW review. I'm not sure, because I know I am gone from the 9th to the 17th to go off to a campground in Colorado for a family camping trip that has been set up. So I don't know if I'm going to be doing anything. If if I do, it probably won't be necessarily that consistent. I might do maybe a video on like a Thursday going over the 3 shows that happened already in the week or something of that nature, or maybe just a news video. But I might also be able to get something out consistent, but it's probably unlikely because I don't know how good the campground internet would be, and I don't even know if I'll be able to watch the shows at the campground. I will be bringing all my stuff, my tablet, my laptop, my phone. I'll be bringing it all. So definitely gonna try to get stuff out there, but I can't promise anything because I don't know. It's a campground. I can't really promise too much. But yeah, that's really all I got for you here today. Thanks y'all for watching. It's been your one out of the IWC. Sorry I seem out of it right now. It's just really crazy to think about all that's happened over the past 15 months. He really hit me. But I'll be seeing you guys tomorrow.